If you've had your business on the market for a while and you're not attracting buyers, then there are a number of things you ought to be looking at to learn why that is. Let me be honest here, if you haven't found a buyer in the first 3 months, then you're going to have a serious think about how it's being marketed for sale. That's the golden period for finding a buyer, the first 3 months. And beyond that, you're unlikely to make a sale unless you take a step back and say, how is this opportunity being presented to the market? I'm going to give you 4 common reasons why businesses don't find buyers in their first 3 months. And if you haven't yet put your business on the market, knowing these things is going to allow you to create a marketing plan which will maximize your opportunity for the right kind of buyer. My name's Jon Gleeson and I help SME owners sell their businesses. Can you remember the biggest sale you've made in your business since you started? The one that made you go, yeah, this is working. This is why we're doing this. How much effort did you have to put into that? What systems did you already have in place that allowed you to make it happen? And what made you think, if we just tweak this or improve that, then we're going to get more deals like this? Well, imagine that you're looking to launch a new product or service, and just finding one customer for it is going to generate the biggest sale your business has ever made. What do you need to do to make sure that it's ready for market, that it offers a value proposition for the customer that you're targeting? How much hard work is going to be involved in marketing it and finding that one customer and working towards a deal that works for both of you? When you launch a business for sale, it's no different. You already have the product, your business, so how are you going to be certain that you're making it attractive to buyers and communicating the value proposition? In my experience, business owners who understand the value of marketing are among the minority of businesses that actually sell. That's because they treat it as an exercise in marketing a product, which is exactly what it is. So let's go back to the beginning of the process and tackle the uncomfortable subject of overvaluation. Overvaluation is common for 3 reasons. Firstly, a broker really wants to sign you up. They've found someone who is keen to sell, and if they can convince you that your business is worth this much, then they can add you to their vast array of other businesses, knowing that only a tiny proportion will actually sell. It's a numbers game, and the effort they put into selling businesses is only reactive. They'll only be selling businesses when they are forced to act. I'll come back to that a bit later. Secondly, brokers have this cataclysmic method of offering a valuation based on a multiple of your profits, or sometimes your turnover, which bears no relation to what a business is actually worth. And brokers manage to convince you that this multiple is accurate, and it's incredibly rare that a business owner stops and says, why? Why is my business worth 3 or 4 times my profit? What evidence can you show me to back that up? Your business is worth what someone else is prepared to offer and what you're prepared to accept. That's it. The asking price is only a part of a larger marketing effort which communicates the value that it will offer to a new owner. And what you're giving to a buyer is just as important as the money that the buyer is giving to you. The only way businesses ever sell is if it's a win-win for both buyer and seller. And the third reason is that business owners want to begin with a big asking price. Now, it's your business. You should be in the driving seat and you should be able to decide on the asking price. But it's also worth being aware of how it might impact this greater marketing drive. If you've invested in a marketing campaign for this new product and it doesn't meet your objective of finding a buyer, how much is it going to cost you to fix it 3 months down the line? Most of the time, a broker will only give you the option of reducing the price, which makes a dog's breakfast of their original valuation. And you end up reducing the price until it actually sells, because we all know there's a market for any product that is priced below its actual value. So if you need to revisit the asking price, look at it as part of the wider marketing strategy around the sale of your business and see if you need to make other adjustments. And please give careful consideration to how buyers are being presented with the opportunity. What has your broker done to get the business in front of people? Well, the answer is probably very little. Most businesses are advertised for sale on websites known as aggregators. There are several of these in the UK. The most popular are RightBiz, Dalton's and Businesses for Sale. They're very useful marketing tools, but they are passive and they require buyers to actively seek out opportunities. Ultimately, the buyer for your business is most likely to be somebody who already has a business and will see yours as an opportunity to add value to their own operation. They might be working in exactly the same field as you, or they might see your business as something that will naturally complement what they're currently doing. But when you're only marketing on these websites, you have to rely on them going online, seeing your business listed amongst thousands of others, and making the initial inquiry. That means that you're only ever going to be seen by a narrow bracket of people. And the higher your asking price and the more specialized your business is, the fewer people it will appeal to. Now, I appreciate that not everyone has the marketing budget to get their business in front of hundreds of people in relevant industries. But if your only way of finding a buyer is through these websites and it isn't connecting you with buyers, then you might have to think about investing in other ways of reaching your target audience. That might not be what you want to hear, but we are talking about the biggest deal in the history of your business, maybe your life, so it shouldn't be taken lightly. Most brokers will offer a mail out to their own database. But how many of those emails are going to hit people who are looking for what you're selling? Okay, chances are they have inquired about other businesses in the past, so at some stage they've been actively looking to buy. But that may no longer be the case, and there's no guarantee that your business is going to be something they're looking for anyway. To find a buyer, you need to target specific people, and that includes the ones who don't even know yet that they want to buy another business. But if you're going to rely on the aggregator sites, please don't make it difficult for a buyer to actually buy. When you look at these websites and see other businesses listed, you'll find that many of them will have no photos and virtually no details about turnover or net profit. And note that some of them don't even list the asking price. The confidential sale is a killer, because if you're marketing a product, how do you expect to find a customer if you don't let them know what the product is? There are genuine reasons for wanting to keep your sale confidential, which may include not wanting staff or customers to know in case it undermines confidence. But believe me, your staff will find out soon enough, and it's better that it comes from you than from someone else. This is a marketing campaign, and a confidential sale is a barrier to buyers. You want them to engage because they can see the value proposition, but a confidential sale gives them little incentive to find out more. Give careful thought to this, because in withholding the key information that buyers are looking for, you are dramatically narrowing the number of people who will choose to make an inquiry. That means your business is going to be on the market for considerably longer than if you decide on an open market sale. At some stage, you're going to have to let the dog see the rabbit, and the earlier you do that, the sooner you'll find a buyer. The other element which is a barrier is the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement. Once a buyer has made an inquiry, your broker will send this document for them to sign, and it basically says that any information that's disclosed to the buyer won't be shared anywhere else. Okay, that seems sensible, right? Well, yes, and there's an argument that in doing this, you'll only receive the NDA back from people who are really serious. But the reality is that even buyers who would take a serious look at your business won't sign and return the NDA because they just don't have time. The information you've included in your marketing just isn't compelling enough for them to commit to signing it. And if they do sign it, really what comfort does it give you? If you suspect a buyer has leaked some information, what action are you prepared to take, and how are you going to prove it? It's perfectly normal to insist on this kind of confidentiality agreement further down the line, when solicitors are involved and the buyer is really drilling down into the finances and systems of the business. But early on, you have to ask yourself, what are the risks in someone knowing my turnover, my margins, staff costs? And you need to balance that with the objective of the exercise, which is to find a buyer who is prepared to get to that later stage and then completion. Remember that broker you initially spoke to? The one who came and signed you up and did the valuation? Is that the same person who is handling the buyer inquiries? More often than not, that's the last you will see or hear of them, because they've done their job in signing you up. Any inquiries for your sale will go to someone in an office who hasn't been to see your business, and they're juggling hundreds of other listings. So not only are they not actively marketing your business for sale, but they're only sending out a bit of information to inquiries that come in and only following up on the buyers who say they want to come and see you. That's because they're not interested in selling your business. They're interested in having as many businesses on their books as possible, knowing that only a small proportion will sell without them having to get involved. The numbers game I spoke about earlier. Brokers want to give you the impression that after the valuation, selling your business is easy. What they mean is it's easy for them. I hear so many stories from sellers, and you'll see this reflected in online reviews of brokers. Stories about getting no interest in their business at all, no communication from their broker, and worryingly, persistent stories that their broker is coming up with bogus buyer inquiries just to keep them quiet. Now, not only do I hear that from sellers, but in my own experience as a buyer of businesses, I can tell you that most brokers will do the absolute minimum to help a buyer. I've had brokers tell me they won't share any details beyond their online ad until I've visited the business, as if I'm going to make a 300-mile round trip for a business I know so little about. I've turned up at a viewing and a broker hasn't even told them I'm coming. I've met with sellers and the broker didn't even tell them that they needed to have some financial information ready for me to look at. So ask your broker exactly what they are doing when an inquiry comes to them. What are they learning about the buyer? What information are they providing to them, and how are they following it up? The appalling reputation that business brokers have in this country is largely well deserved. And I find it baffling because helping SME owners to sell their businesses is the most rewarding job I've ever had. You're helping people achieve their dreams, buyers and sellers. The day you sell your business is like your wedding day. And not only am I the registrar, but I've been the matchmaker as well. And there should be no need for sellers to feel like they're being left in the dark about what's happening. You should be fully informed about how the sale process works, how it's going, and what you might need to change if you're not attracting buyers. You only sell your business once. Choose the right broker so that you're one of the rare businesses that actually sells, rather than languishing on the market for years, wondering if you'll ever be able to move on with your life. If there's any aspect of the sale process you'd like me to cover in another video, please leave me a comment below or click the WhatsApp link in the description to get in touch.